So I've been seeing your questions, and now I'm going to take the time to answer some of them for you. I have 5 questions today that I'm going to answer that I've been getting all throughout the social media platforms I'm on. And so let's go ahead and dig into it. Hey, in case you don't know me, my name is Jason Chaney, and I specialize in helping people transition to a plant-based diet so they can lose weight, but most importantly, start tackling their self-image when it comes to their food home, so they never have to worry about gaining weight ever again. And so, like I tell you, like I'm always open to answer questions. So I just took around 5 of the questions that I had. And if this is a type of segment that you like, just let me know, and I'll keep doing this and keep bringing your questions. I love answering the questions, and I like seeing that people are tuning in and that people are listening to what I'm saying. Because if you start applying some of these little things, you can start changing your health and start taking control of your life in the way that you want it to go. And so let's go ahead and get into the first question. And the first question is, why is finding my food home so important? Why can't you just tell me what to do? And so I can tell you what to do. Here's what you need to do. Eat more fruits and vegetables. The reason why the food home is important is because if you don't know your food home, you don't know what you eat on a consistent basis. Just telling you to eat more fruits and vegetables is not going to give you the solution that you need. Because we all believe subconsciously, like, oh, I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. I eat fruits and vegetables every day. And the truth is, you don't. Because if you're not familiar with your food home, you do not know what you're actually eating. And we're talking about macro and micronutrients. We're not just talking about food. Like, there's more to just a piece of vegetable or fruit. So you may just see a piece of kale and like, oh, this is a kale. I don't like how it tastes. I don't see a kale. I see a cruciferous vegetable, which has just because it's a cruciferous, it has a lot of health benefits for your body. Plus, I see a lot of minerals such as iron, calcium, manganese, zinc, all of these different things. You do not see that if you don't know your food home. That's why this is important. And just to give you a bigger concept of it, think about the TV show Biggest Loser. Why is it that all those people were able to lose so much weight during the show, but then once they went back home, they gained the weight back or got fatter? The reason is because they did not have a grasp of their food home. Yes, you can do a lot of workout. You can go run every day. You can do some kind of restrictive diet, and you will get some short-term results. I'm talking about lifetime results, not ever having to worry about losing weight or gaining weight again. Like, you can just be happy where you are. You don't have to worry about no longer fitting in your jeans or fitting in your dress. Like, this is the difference. If you understand your food home, you have complete control over your weight. And you can start seeing like, okay, this is what I'm eating. I need to just change this up. And the thing is, once you start seeing the control of your food home, it becomes easy. You don't have to diet ever again. I don't do any diets. I just lose weight easily until I'm at the place where I want to be and comfortable. And you can do that also. So thank you for that question. And that is why your food home is more important. And I'm gonna just tell you again, if you want to just know what to do, eat more fruits and vegetables. And so the second one says, do I have to stop eating meat altogether? And the answer to this is depending on what type of health you want. Remember, there's 3 pillars of health. You have mental health, physical health of the body, and then you have a healthy weight. If you feel like you're in a place where you have the health that you desire, then you can still eat a little meat if you want to. I do have some clients who eat meat like once or twice a week. That is okay. It's not a bad thing. And the other thing is, like, I'm not trying to convince you to change your whole eating lifestyle to me. Like, yes, I eat a plant-based lifestyle. This is the only lifestyle I will ever eat for the rest of my life. I'm not saying you have to do that. All I'm saying is if you want to start feeling better, having more energy, you need to eat more fruits and vegetables. So it depends on where you want and what you want for your health. With a question like that, I would ask you this, though, in return. What is your true goal? Because you may be thinking your goal is, I want to be healthy. That doesn't mean anything. Or I want to lose weight. That doesn't mean anything. What is your true goal? Do you want to live longer? Do you want to be here for your grandkids? Do you want to be here for your kids? Do you want to be here for your spouse? Do you want to have more energy? Do you want to be able to walk up some stairs without huffing and puffing and out of air? Like, you have to find your real goal there, because when I see people ask questions like that, to me that shows that you don't have a true definition of what your real goal is yet, and really do some deep hard digging and seeing what do you really want. Because whenever we say, oh, I want to be healthier, that doesn't mean anything. What does healthier mean? Like, you can drink an extra cup of water every day and be healthier. So what does that really mean for you? Or do I want to lose weight? We all know we can lose and gain weight. Everyone in this world is capable of losing and gaining weight. So that's why that is not a goal. A goal cannot be something that just easily obtainable. It needs to be something that you really want and desire. So really focus on that part there. So I hope that really helped you. Third question is, how do I get my spouse to be more supportive? I feel they are sabotaging me on purpose. Now, this is a really good one. And let me put the iPad down for a second. And I want to really take some time to answer this one because this is a complex one. And, I'm married. And so I can see how you may be thinking like, oh, my spouse has sabotaged me, or they're not being supportive. You need to change your perception on it. You need to change your perception to theirs. And one of the best ways to do this is sit down and have a conversation with your significant other. And you need to really let them know where you're coming from. Because you have a food home and your marriage has a food home also. And this is one of the things we're not taught. And what I mean by that is there are foods that you and your husband or your wife, whoever your significant other is, that you all eat together. There's foods that you all eat when you're sad. There's foods you all eat to lift you up and make you feel better. There's foods you eat when you want to celebrate. And your spouse is coming from their perception. So their perception is when they're seeing you dieting, and let's be honest, when we're dieting, we're miserable. We're not happy. We're not on our A game. We're usually like, oh man, oh, I'm sick of this. Oh, I'm tired of eating this crap. And they're hearing this, and their first instinct is to stop you from suffering. So they're going to give you the foods that you know. And the only thing that they know to give you is the stuff in the food home of the marriage. And so this is another, this kind of builds on why the food home is so important. Because once you start identifying, you can even identify the food home of your marriage. You can identify the food home of your kids. You can identify the food home of any type of relationship that you have with your parents, with distant relatives, anything like that you spend time with. And you can start seeing this and changing it. And so if you actually sit down and have a conversation with them and let them know why you're doing this, not that, oh, I'm doing a diet, you need to be supportive. You need to sit down and let them know why. Hey, I think when we were in Panama with, I'll tell you how CeCe helped me stop eating eggs. And so she did a real good job at it. It was like some real Jedi mind tricks she did to me. Because she knew not to come at me from a place where it would get me emotionally involved. So you have to have it come from a place where it's going to get the significant other logically involved, where they're thinking about it, they're not reacting to it. And so what she did, she was like, hey, I'm watching this documentary. You want to watch it with me? And she know I'm a sucker for documentaries. Like, if it's anything education-based, like, hey, you got me. And so I watched it, and the doctor was telling me, and he broke down why I wanted to stop eating eggs, why the cholesterol was bad. But also he showed me like how I could start doing other things possibly, like regrowing the nerves in my leg. And she knew one of the biggest things that I love is being able to walk, move around, have my mobility. And so when she showed me that, I was like, oh, you set me up. You did real good. And she's like, yeah, I knew if I would have just came to you, you wouldn't have done it. But that's how you do it. You have to change the perception of the person and also change the perception of how you're approaching it. Because if you don't, it's going to come from an emotional place. You're going to have an emotional reaction. They're going to have an emotional reaction. And it's just going to be you butting heads. And you're not going to have an understanding. Once you have an understanding, you'll start realizing there's no sabotage in place unless it's just someone who's abusive or crazy. And if that's the case, go get professional help and get some counseling, and you might want to get out of that. But most of us, like, I even have friends here, like, there's things like I'm doing and they offer me stuff, and it's like, oh no, I'm not eating that way today, because they know what my food home is with them. Usually it be stuff like French fries, chips, things like that. Not the healthiest things, but it's things that I can eat with them because I don't eat meat and cheese like they eat. And so you just really want to look at it from there, change the perception. Most likely your spouse is not trying to sabotage you. They're just trying to make you comfortable. They just want you to be happy because they love you and they want you to be around. And if you let them know, like, look, I'm doing this for my health because I want to be with you 10 more years. I want to be able to go have another honeymoon in some exotic location. They will be on a board, and you will see them actually helping you stay more focused than you are actually staying focused. And so that's the best way to do that. And we get the iPad. Okay, and question 4, how long do I have to eat this way to start seeing results? Now, this one is one that is really big. It's a question I always get. I get it on the web classes that I do every Thursday. People ask me this whenever they see me in person. They're like, oh, you look great, but how long do I have to do it? You have to understand, and let me go back to the food home. Your food home, you have been eating this way on a consistent basis for most of your life, if not all of your life. Usually I say your food home starts when you're about 6 or 7. That's when it's implanted, it's in there, it's in your subconscious, and this is just what you eat. Depending on what you do, once you turn 18, 19, 20, if you go off to college, away from your family, or if you go to the military like I did, your food home will start adjusting because you start making conscious decisions on what you eat. However, those conscious decisions are not usually healthy ones. So let me tell you like how I did it. When I went to the military, my food home became Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King, Sonic, a bunch of fast food, because it was eat what I can, get back to formation, eat what I can, get back to work. And then when I was doing shift work, it was horrible. Like I was drinking coffee, drinking tea, just drinking all these different things that I wouldn't normally drink. So depending on where you actually transition away from your family, if you did leave the home at 18 like I did, your food home did change a little bit there. So if that's the case, your food home started there. If you stay close relatively, man, hard to say that one today, to your hometown, then your food home probably is going all the way back to you're about 6 years old. That's where most of us can start remembering and have those triggering events to food. And so you have to realize it's not a specific amount of time. Like if you eat salad for 2 months, yes, you can lose weight. But if after that 2 months you go back to your regular eating, you're going to gain weight right back again, if not more, and if not faster. So you have to do what are you committed to for your lifestyle. And this is why if you start understanding your food home and you transition your food home that's in place, you will start having an eating lifestyle that is healthier. So that means you're going to start feeling a little better. You're going to start having a little bit more energy. And that's all you have to focus on. Do a little bit more each and every day. Don't focus on like, oh, I got to eat this way for 6 months. Because all they're doing is psychologically breaking you down. Because you're like, as soon as 6 months come, I'm going to go gorge. I'm going to binge eat on some pizza or something like that. And you're just destroying all the results that you had. So don't focus on the time. Focus on what can you do on a consistent basis. What can you do day in and day out? Can you drink an extra glass of water each day? Can you eat an apple each and every day? Like, can you eat a little veggie salad or a fruit salad each and every day? Like, do the little things. And if you want to start transitioning your food home, like if you're someone who eat a lot of burgers, try switching from, regular animal patties to maybe the Beyond Meat patties. And there's tons of them now. Like, I think Kroger's have their brand, Target, Walmart, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, if there's one in your area, Sprouts, Aldi, even some of the dollar stores have their own brands now. So like, just switch out and just find one that is better for you that you can actually eat on a consistent basis. Because at the very least, if you just switch that out, going from an animal burger patty to a plant-based burger patty, you're cutting off a lot of the saturated fat and the cholesterol. And you're just going to start feeling a little better. So just think of it that way. Change the way you're thinking on that, where you're trying to give yourself an end result. Like, I have to eat to this time, then I'll be healthy. It doesn't work that way. Because what we don't realize is because we're eating the same way each day in and day out, that is what's getting us sick. That is what's sapping our energy from it. That's what's making us not feel good each and every day. And so you want us to just start changing your mindset around that. Focus on what you can do each and every day for the rest of your life, and not focus on how long until. So I hope you got some value from that. And then the last one is, I eat vegetables every day, so why am I not losing weight? And going back to the food home, if you saw the video I did where I actually did a food home analysis where I did some of the foods, like, yes, you may be eating vegetables all day, but you do not know what you're eating. And this is the reason why. So most Americans, the study has already been proven, they've done this study for over 15 years, that most Americans only get their vegetables each and every day from the lettuce, tomatoes, and onions that are on their burger that they're buying from a fast food place, and the French fries that they're getting from that fast food place. So that's not a lot of vegetables. You're not really eating a lot. Even if you're cooking your vegetables at home, are you cooking them in oil? Are you cooking them in a bunch of butter? Are you using a bunch of heavy cream, milk, cheese, all of these different things? I used to think I ate a lot of vegetables until I started understanding my food home. I started understanding what the foods actually were that I was eating. So I'm a person I love broccoli. And so I used to think like, oh, I eat a lot of vegetables. I eat broccoli every day. But I wasn't taking into account all the cheese that I was putting on there, the butter that I was basting it with, the heavy cream that I was putting in there if I was making it into a casserole or something. All of those things are just taking away all the nutrition value of the broccoli. Because remember, because you're eating high fat, it has 1 gram of fat has 9 calories, to where the broccoli may be looking at 1 or 2 calories per cup. Like, all of these things add up. And so we have to stop comparing, oh, I'm eating this food to this food. Like, we have to start understanding, if you're eating the standard American diet, any form of it, you're eating a high fat diet. And it's a high fat, which means that it's high in cholesterol, and it's high in saturated fats also, which are all not good for your health. And so you want to go to the complete opposite of that, going to a more fat-free diet, and you can still have your fats through cashews, certain almonds, walnuts, and you can use avocados, which is one that I use. So just start changing the way you really look at what you're eating. So what I would give you for an action step, if you're saying this, if this is one of your issues where you're like, I eat a lot of vegetables, I'm still not losing weight. Start looking at how you're actually cooking those vegetables. Are you using a bunch of oil in there? Because if you're using a bunch of oil, that's just a lot of omega-6s, which are highly inflammatory to the body, which means eating a bunch of omega-6 oils, we're talking about canola oil, vegetable oil, pretty much all your oils except flaxseed and chia seed, which most people don't use. Which is fine. Like, if you have to use regular oils if you want to cook with it, at the very least, get you an air fryer to where you can monitor how much oil you're using, so you know exactly how many calories you're getting. So from having to deep fry something with maybe 3 or 4 cups of oil, you can now use a tablespoon of oil or 2 tablespoons of oil. Like, that's a big difference. So, but really look at how you're cooking your vegetables. Are you putting a bunch of butter? Are you putting a bunch of cheese, cream, all of these different things in it? Because if so, then you're not really eating a lot of vegetables. You're still eating a high-fat diet. And so I hope you got some value from that. If you like this type of information, make sure you hit the like button. If you know someone who can, who probably relates to any of these questions, hit the share button and so they can see it also and get some help and advice from this. But most importantly, just remember, you just have to start making a healthier decision each and every day. Just take one step at a time. Do not look at where I'm at. Don't look at how I eat if you see my foods and stuff and try to be like, oh, I got to be like Jason. You need to be you. And you just need to do one step at a time to get yourself one step closer to being the healthier person that you want to be. So I hope you got value from this. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay supercharged. And also, if you like this type of content and you want more of it, where you can see it on a consistent basis, make sure you click the link up above or below and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I will see you tomorrow. Stay supercharged.